Hi, it's Angel, and today I'm really excited. I just got back from the grocery store where I saw some fresh oysters, and I suddenly had this huge craving to cook Taiwanese oyster omelets. What are oyster omelets? They're this yummy snack that's been made famous in Taiwanese night markets or food stands. It's basically an omelet that's made from potato flour. It has oysters, lots of fresh veggies, and it's topped with this yummy pink sauce. I know whenever I order these at the night market or restaurant, I always get really sad when I only see 2 to 3 oysters in my dish. But the best thing about cooking this dish at home is you can use as many oysters as you want. So today I'm going to show you guys how to cook Taiwanese oyster omelets at home. We're going to use extra oysters, and since this dish serves 2, I'm going to make one for me and one for you. Now for the ingredients. We'll start with 1.5 cups of cold water, 3 tablespoons of gluten flour. Here's the bag that I got at my local Asian grocery store. 2 teaspoons of ketchup. I'm using Heinz. 5 teaspoons of Asian sweet chili sauce. There's a lot of different brands out there, but here's a bottle that I'm using today. 1 teaspoon of peanut butter, smooth or chunky, you pick. 1 tablespoon of plain sugar. 2 pinches of freshly ground cinnamon. And finally, optional but highly recommended, 2 pinches of Asian sour plum powder. Now that we have our ingredients, we can begin by cooking the sauce. Start by preheating your pan on a medium-low heat. Add the flour and roast for about 1 to 2 minutes. Roasting the flour like this will help bring out the aroma, making for a tastier sauce. Next, slowly add cold water a bit at a time and mixing completely throughout. Once the water and flour mixture are mixed completely, we can go ahead and add the rest of the ingredients. There's the sugar, the peanut butter, the ketchup, and the yummy sweet chili sauce. Now, here's where we'll need to have some patience to mix everything in slowly. It might take some time, but we'll be rewarded with a nice, smooth sauce. Once that's mixed in, we can go ahead and add our pinches of cinnamon and our optional sour plum powder. After a few minutes, the sauce should start to thicken. If it's not thickening, turn up the heat a little bit. Once it's completely mixed and the sauce is thick, stop to taste test. Yep, that's good. But if you want to tweak it and make it sweeter or more savory, well, now's the time to adjust. And if you prefer a thinner sauce, feel free to add more water. Once you like the sauce taste, set it aside and keep it warm while we make the omelet. Now let's gather our ingredients for the omelet. Start with a small jar of fresh oysters, rinsed and cut into smaller pieces if needed. 1 to 2 eggs per omelet. Fresh leafy veggies chopped into 2-inch pieces. I'm using Taiwanese Oyster here, which is similar to a romaine lettuce. We'll also need 1¼ cups of cold water, ½ a cup of potato flour, 3 tablespoons of tapioca starch. Note, this is tapioca starch and not tapioca flour. And finally, some sea salt for seasoning. Step 2. Mix the omelette batter. In a medium-sized bowl, pour in your water, your potato flour, the 3 tablespoons of tapioca starch, and add a few pinches of salt to taste. When you're done, make sure to mix all the ingredients until the batter is completely smooth. Now on to step 3. Let's get started cooking the omelette. Start by preheating a non-stick pan on a medium-low heat. Once the pan is preheated, add in a generous amount of cooking oil. I'm using grapeseed oil here. Now, the reason why we want to use a medium-low heat is because the oysters and the potato flour will cook fairly quickly. Once the pan's heated, go ahead and add in half of the oysters. Feel free to add some sea salt or pepper to taste. Grab a spatula and lightly fry the oysters for about a minute, knowing that we don't want to cook it all the way through. When you're done, arrange the oysters near the center of the pan. Next, ladle or spoon in the potato flour batter, creating a thin layer just like an omelette. Once the batter has started to cook, you'll notice that it turns from a white color to a translucent color. Once it's partially cooked, grab an egg or 2 and crack it directly over the omelette. Now comes the fun part. With your spatula, go ahead and poke the yolk and spread it out in an interesting shape. Whatever comes to you. Next, add in your cut veggies. I like to add them by the handful. Veggies taste good in this dish, and they're good for you too. After a few minutes, go ahead to flip the omelette. Now, you may need a fork or an extra spatula to help you here. Keep in mind that the omelette will likely be sticky, which is why it's really important to use a non-stick pan and lots of oil. Once you've successfully flipped it, let that sit for about another minute or 2. That smells really good. Now we're ready to plate the omelette. Step 4. Assemble and enjoy. With the sauce that we cooked earlier, pour a generous amount of sauce directly over the omelette. Now we're ready to try it. I can't wait, this smells so good. It's really good and super yummy.